Hello everyone. All my dear students, today we are going to see new topic, and that new topic is from the applied electronics, and the name of that topic is DC regulated power supply. The name is DC regulated power supply, and here in this video lecture we have to see in brief the introduction of the DC regulated power supply. We have to see the various parts used in the DC regulated power supply. So here we have the two images. The first one image is in the red color and the second one is in the gray color. Both the images are of the power supplies, the regulated power supplies. Here we have to consider the meaning of the regulated power supply and the normal power supply. The first power supply we have, that power supply, if you can see in this image, here the various knobs are there. The AC knobs and the DC knobs are there. It means this power supply can provide the AC voltage as well as the DC voltage. But here in this video, we require to see only the DC regulated power supply. We have to see the DC regulated power supply, and here the second one image, that image is of the DC regulated power supply. You might be seen this one in your laboratory or at the technician shop. So here we have to see the DC regulated power supply, its complete block diagram description, and why we are using all those types of the blocks available inside the DC regulated power supply. Okay, so this power supply is the regulated power supply. The power supply is the regulated power supply. So the question comes, why we call it as a regulated power supply? We know the power is supplied in AC as well as in DC. The power is supplied by using these two. AC means alternating current. The alternating means having the alternation. Complete description, complete details about the AC I will provide you in the other video lecture, and I will provide also the comparison of the AC and the DC. But for now here we require to consider only the DC power supply. We have to consider the DC power supply, and this DC power supply we have to construct, we have to design its block diagram to obtain the DC output voltage. Now the question comes here, if we have the AC power supply, then why we are using the DC power supply? The AC power supply we have, that AC power supply can be used for the activating, can be used to bias the electrical equipments, for the electrical equipment, but for the electronic circuits, for the electronic equipments, for the electronic consumer devices, for an example, the laptop, smartphone, the television and all other electronic equipments, consumer devices, we require to apply the DC, because here all of the electronic components, are constructed by using the semiconductor. These are constructed by using the semiconductor. So all these semiconductor devices require constant continuous one direction supply. It requires constant. It not only requires the continuous, it requires constant continuous. Here the AC may be the continuous, but its magnitude is not constant. Then we required the one direction. The AC is not one direction. The direction of AC alters. The direction of AC changes. So that's why here we require to use the direct current, the DC current, for the operation of all of the electronic circuit, all of the electronic equipment. Now here if we consider the example of the laptop, inside the laptop there is a one battery. That battery gets charged, or directly we can operate the laptop by using the supply. But inside that, here, even if we plug in the laptop or any other electronic equipment to the AC, inside that there is a one important circuit or one important part, that is we call as DC regulated power supply. DC regulated power supply. But here the power supply which we are going to use is we call a regulated. It is a DC, but regulated. Regulated means here the power supply whose output voltage, it may be for the current or it may be for the voltage, but in most of the cases we can say in 99% of the cases we use the power supply that provides a constant DC output voltage. It provides a constant DC output voltage. So a power supply which provides constant DC voltage, and this constant DC voltage remains constant even if the power supply which we called as a regulated power supply, DC regulated power supply, provides. Here I am going to draw one block for it. Suppose we have this one power supply. This is a power supply. We can say it is DC regulated power supply. This power supply provides the output. That output voltage is supposed to be VO, and this VO is equals to 10 volts. Okay, this output voltage VO is equals to 10 volts. Now its input is applied here to the AC mains. Here is the AC main supply. We can write down here only the AC supply. Okay, so here the AC supply is given to the DC regulated power supply, and it provides the output voltage of the 10 volts. Okay, now here the power supply is we call regulated power supply. Regulated, it regulates. The power supply is we call as a regulated power supply because its output voltage remains constant. Its output voltage remains stable even if the input AC voltage changes. The AC voltage, suppose initially at the 220 volt. The AC voltage is initially at the 220 volt. At that time we get the output voltage is equals to 10 volt. If it increase from the 220 volts to the 240 volts, if it increase from 220 volts to the 240 volt, at that time again it provides the stable 10 volts its output in DC. If it decrease from 220 volts to the 200 volts, then again it provides the output voltage. That output voltage is the 10 volt. What's happening here? The AC voltage is going to change, but the DC voltage remains same. So that's why this power supply is we call as a regulated power supply, or we can say stabilized power supply. Its output gets stable even if the input AC main supply changes. Okay, one more reason is there why we say the DC regulated power supply is the DC regulated power supply, having the second reason. Now for an example, suppose here at the output side we apply one more circuit here. Suppose we apply it to one circuit. That circuit is supposed to be the IC 555. We apply this power supply to one circuit, and that circuit is constructed by using IC 555, and here its output voltage is supposed to be a 10 volts. Okay, whatever the application of that IC 555, here we have to consider one important thing, and that is we call as its input resistance, or we can say here its input impedance. See, the resistance and the impedance having the same units in measurement, but both are the different, both are the opposition, but the opposition of the different components. Okay, later on we will discuss on this impedance and the resistance different. Okay, now we consider only the resistance instead of this impedance. Okay, so the resistance of the IC555 is supposed to be 100 ohm. Okay, its resistance is now 100 ohm, and what I do here, instead of using now the IC555, I am going to use one more IC, and that IC is supposed to be 741. That IC is supposed to be IC 741, and it is the operational amplifier IC. It is we call op-amp IC. The opposition of operational amplifier IC, or the resistance, input resistance of the IC 741 is much higher than 100 ohms. Suppose here its resistance is 10 kilo ohm. The resistance of IC is 10 kilo ohm. Now, due to change in the resistance, the current also changes, and due to change in the current, whatever the voltage drop is here in between these two terminals, that voltage drop gets changed. But a power supply which provides the stable output voltage, a power supply which provides a constant output voltage, even if the value of load current, what is that load current? The current pass through the IC or a circuit available at the output of the power supply. The current passes through the IC or any circuit connected at the output of the power supply. So here that current is we call as a load current, and this load current is denoted by using IL. That load current is denoted by using IL. Suppose initially the load current is 100 milliampere. The load current is suppose initially 100 milliampere, and if the circuit is changed, it gets changed from 100 to the 10 milliampere, or it may get changed from the 100 milliampere to the 200 milliampere. If the current gets changed, then the output voltage also change. But in this case, if we are using the DC regulated power supply, its output voltage remains constant. Its output voltage remains stable. So here this power supply provides a constant output voltage, stable output voltage, even if the input supply changes. The AC is we call input supply changes, or even if the load current changes. Even if the load current changes, that power supply is we call as DC regulated power supply. Okay, the power supply which provides a stable output voltage. Here I am going to draw one more block diagram. Here this is a power supply. Okay, here the second one block is also a DC power supply. It is a DC power supply. This one is also a DC power supply. Here I am going to apply AC voltage. Here is the AC supply, or we can say input AC supply. Here again same, the input AC supply. Here is the input AC supply. Here also input AC supply. It provides the output. That output is we call as a DC output. Here again the output is the DC output. Now suppose the first one power supply, here the upper one, the first one power supply, whose output changes as there is a change in the input AC supply and the load current IL. See, the input AC supply is changed and the load current IL is changed, then the DC voltage of this first power supply changes. That power supply is we call normal DC power supply. It is we call normal DC power supply, or this is we also called as unregulated power supply. This power supply is we call unregulated power supply, and a power supply whose output voltage remains constant, whose output voltage remains stable even if there is a change in AC power supply, input AC power supply, or there is a change in the value of the load current. That power supply is we call as a regulated power supply. That power supply is we call a regulated power supply. So I hope you got the difference between unregulated DC power supply and the regulated DC power supply. Okay, so we move towards our next point, and that is the block diagram of the DC regulated supply. The block diagram of DC regulated power supply. Here we have to see in brief the introduction of DC regulated power supply. What blocks are available in the DC regulated power supply, that we have to see. So here the first block is the transformer. First block is the transformer, and the transformer we use for one particular reason. The two reasons are there. First one is the transformer provides isolation in between the AC supply. See here, the input to the transformer is the AC. It provides the isolation in between the AC current and the output DC current. It uses inside the two different coils. These two coils or we can say the inductors. These two coils are not physically, or you can say not electrically connected to each other. Here, if we draw the symbol of the transformer, then its symbol is like this. Here, first coil is there. This first coil is connected to the AC main supply, and the second coil is here. This second coil is connected to the circuitry available in the DC regulated power supply. Here this voltage in between these two terminals is we call as secondary voltage, and the input voltage to the transformer is we call as a primary voltage, V primary. Okay, depending on the number of turns of the secondary and the primary windings, primary coils, we get the secondary voltage. Okay, so the various types of the transformers are available, but here we use generally the transformer. That transformer is we call as step down transformer. That transformer is we call step down transformer, and this step down transformer having less number of the secondary turns, so therefore the secondary voltage is less than the primary voltage. In this step down transformer, the number of turns of the secondary winding are less than the number of turns of the primary winding. So here it provides the less secondary voltage than the primary voltage. So this transformer is the step down transformer, and in the regulated power supply, generally we use the step down transformer. The second purpose of the transformer to use in the DC regulated power supply is it provides the lower secondary voltage. We not require higher secondary voltage, we require the lower secondary voltage than the AC mains supply, because whatever the electronic circuits we are using, that electronic circuit requires the voltage almost from 1.5 volts to the 30 plus minus 1.5 volts to the 30 volts. The transistors, the diodes, the ICs are available in the electronic circuitry, and all of the electronic circuitry requires the different DC voltage, but it is in between the 1.5 volts to the 30 volt. Some of the electronic circuit require less than 1.5 volt, but most of the circuit requires the operating voltage in between 1.5 volts to the 30 volt. Now, if we use the step up transformer, then it is very hard to reduce its voltage up to the less of the 30 volt. So, therefore, here we preferred the step down transformer in the AC main supply. The first reason behind using this transformer is the transformer provides isolation. The transformer provides isolation between the AC mains currents and the DC current. So, therefore, it makes a power supply. That power supply is the shock proof power supply. The power supply gets a shock proof. So, therefore, we are using the transformer. We also use the transformer because if we directly convert the AC supply, or if we not use the step down transformer, instead of that we use the step up transformer, or we use the transformer which provides the same output voltage as that of the input, same secondary voltage as that of the input, then it is hard to reduce up to the 1.5 volt. So, therefore, here we use the transformer. That transformer is the step down transformer. The output of the transformer is applied to the rectifier circuit. The output of the transformer is applied to the rectifier circuit, and that rectifier is the heart of this power supply circuit. The rectifier is an electronic circuit which converts the bidirectional AC voltage, which converts the bidirectional AC voltage into unidirectional DC voltage. It converts the bidirectional AC voltage. The AC voltage which we are going to apply, that AC voltage is the bidirectional AC voltage. Bidirectional. If you see the waveform of the AC voltage, then it's like this. Here there is one positive half cycle, and after this there is a negative half cycle. It may be a current or it may be a voltage with respect to the time. But if we see the waveform of the DC, then it is like this. It is a stable with respect to the time. Means here we require to convert this one AC into the DC. This AC is we call bidirectional, and the DC is we call unidirectional. The bidirectional AC voltage is converted into the DC voltage. Here we get the DC voltage, and here there is a AC voltage. The input to the rectifier is AC, and the output of the rectifier is the DC. So, the rectifier is an electronic circuit which converts the bidirectional AC voltage, the AC voltage, into unidirectional DC voltage. Here one word we are using, that is we call unidirectional. Unidirectional AC, unidirectional DC voltage. Here the output of the rectifier is not the pure DC voltage. It consists of AC and the DC. Both AC and DC components are available. The AC components are superimposed mixed with the DC component. But what we required? We required only the DC. So therefore, we have to filter it by using the filter circuitry. We require to use a one circuit. That circuit is we call as a filter circuit. A filter circuit is constructed by using either the resistor and capacitor, or it constructed by using the capacitor and the inductor, or it may constructed by using simply the capacitor, or it may be constructed by using the combination of any two of resistor, capacitor and the inductor. Okay, so here the output of the rectifier is consisting the AC component. We have to remove this AC component. To remove that AC component, or we can say to remove the unwanted AC component, we require to use one circuit. That circuit is we call as a filter circuit. Okay, so the output of the filter is a smooth DC. It is almost a pure DC. Only 0.01% of the AC components are available at the output of the filter circuit. Okay, the output of this filter is applied to one more circuit, and that circuit is important for us. That circuit is we call as a voltage regulator circuit. The power supply, which consists of only the transformer, rectifier and filter, that power supply is we call as unregulated power supply. That power supply is we call as unregulated power supply, and that unregulated power supply may be used where the quality electronic circuit is not available, or the complete electronic circuit is not available, where the battery charging may be there, or there may be an electronic circuit which requires the variations in the DC supply. Okay, so that is a different matter. We have to consider the voltage regulator circuit. We have to consider the voltage regulator circuit, and this voltage regulator circuit provides a stable output voltage, stable DC voltage, even if there is a change in the AC main supply. See, the input is taken from the AC main supply to the transformer, and then the transformer provides the secondary voltage to the rectifier. The rectifier converts it into the unidirectional DC voltage, but its output having AC and the DC component. We have to remove the AC component, we have to filter it, and we have to provide the smooth DC output voltage. For that we use the filter circuit, and the output of the filter is applied to the voltage regulator. If the AC main supply change, then the output of the transformer also change, and if the output of the transformer is changed, then the output of the filter circuit, rectifier circuit and the filter circuit also change. So therefore here we require to use this voltage regulator. We require to use the voltage regulator, and this voltage regulator provides a stable constant output voltage even if there is a change in the AC main supply, or there is a change in the value of load current, or we can say the load resistance. Even if there is a change in the value of the AC main supply, or there is a change in the output load current. Okay, so it provides the stable output voltage. This is all about the block diagram of DC regulated power supply. Here the description, the written description of this DC regulated power supply is given in our post on our website. Here the link of that website, link of that article, we can say link of that complete post having the description of the DC regulated power supply. I will provide here in the description box, or I will provide here in the card. So you can write down or you can make your own notes from this website. The name of the website is basicelectronics.com. Its name is basicelectronics.com. I am going to write down here www.basicelectronics.com. If you open it and if you scroll down, then you get a post. That post is about the DC regulated power supply. There is a complete article and you can make your own notes for your examination from that post. Block diagram of DC regulated power supply. Okay, I will provide its link in the description box, as well as I will give at here the I button. Okay,